Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
Blake Lively is going into a full-on breakdown after Judge Lyman basically shredded her case, shutting down the ridiculous, over-the-top demands she tried to force through. Every single trick she pulled to sway the court blew up in her face, leaving her totally embarrassed, beaten, and with nowhere to run. The Hollywood power games won't rescue her this time.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss.
This was the day the Hollywood bubble got popped, and Blake Lively suffered a legal smackdown so intense that even her own lawyers looked like they wanted to vanish.
Are her lawyers dumb?
This wasn't just a court hearing. It turned into a gigantic public humiliation spectacle, with Judge J. Lyman tearing into her legal team like it was primetime comedy hour. And guess what? The audience was all for it.
It's intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
Blake marched in like she was about to deliver a final knockout blow to Justin Baldoni, flexing her star status, her VIP contacts, and some fantasy world where the law magically bends for her because she's famous. But instead, she got slammed so hard that even Ryan Reynolds decided it was best to steer clear of the disaster.
You are not able to hold a logical thought, but guess what? I, as a judge, I am able to hold a logical thought, so we're going to slap that down. You obviously cannot do that.
Oh, and about that massive humiliation? The judge didn't just turn down her absurd legal asks. He aired the leaked audio in open court. Yes, the exact recording she and Ryan Reynolds were scrambling to hide. The one they thought they could bury forever using their Hollywood hookups.
And, so I think there could be some argument about whether it was leaked and shouldn't have been leaked and should they have the information or what it may be. But no matter what happens, this is a damning quote.
Blake walked in there like she was about to deliver the final blow to Justin Baldoni, flexing her Hollywood power, her A-list connections, and whatever fantasy world she's living in. She was just a great friend. Blake's entire argument went down in real time, her credibility scorched on the spot, and the best part? She couldn't do a dang thing about it. Meanwhile, Baldoni scored a massive legal triumph, standing strong while Blake's reputation crumbled to dust.
It is so clear Blake's case is falling apart. She's destroying her cred. Ryan Reynolds, too.
No polished PR angles, no hush-hush TMZ exclusives, no famous friends swooping in to rescue her. Just cold, hard truth smacking her right in the face.
The judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request for 2.5 years worth of every message that Justin Baldoni and Justin Heath and the PR agents have ever sent to everybody, plus location data. We knew that was going to happen.
Now, let's dissect how unbelievably ridiculous her legal demands were. Because the delusion was off the charts. Lively actually had the nerve to stroll into court and request 2.5 years worth of Baldoni's phone logs, texts, emails, location pings, and doctor visits.
We have to distinguish between the two, what a standard court protective order is and what Blake Lively's team is asking for, which is an attorney's eyes only designation.
Yep, you heard correctly. She tried turning a plain Hollywood lawsuit into some all-out FBI-level surveillance, like she's starring in a spy flick instead of showing up to a courtroom. What the heck did she think she'd uncover? His 2022 Uber Eats receipts, his Amazon orders from 3 Christmases ago, a note from a physician saying, "Mr. Baldoni had a headache today."
Blake Lively obtained all of these text messages through subpoena. Okay, what's subpoena? You can only issue a subpoena if you have an open legal case. So you have to have a valid legal case. I can't just issue a subpoena to, the New York Times.
And the judge? He had zero tolerance for that mess. One glance at those extreme subpoenas, and he shut them down so fast you could practically hear Blake's ego deflate.
She wants different rules for her than she wants for Baldoni and his team, which I don't think the judge will agree with.
His words, overly intrusive and disproportionate. Translation, Blake, have you lost it? Let's be serious. He wasn't having it.
So it kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video now that it's out and kind of spin it in a different direction.
Lively filed her lawsuit in December 2024, but somehow believes she's entitled to Baldoni's personal records from 2022. The math doesn't add up, the reasoning doesn't hold water, and Judge Lyman pulled no punches pointing that out.
They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle. The genie likes to be free, okay?
This isn't the FBI. You don't get to spy on someone's every move. Boom. At that moment, her entire case face-planted into the ground.
Your lawyers are stupid. It's like he's like being nice here. He's like, your lawyers are really stupid.
This is not some Hollywood flick where she writes the script. It's real life, a real courtroom, and real legal repercussions.
It just blows my mind how dumb Blake Lively's team is, and how just, I guess, egocentric, maniacal that she thinks that she can tell the world, you didn't see what you actually saw with your eyes. It's insane.
Blake was trying to twist the justice system as if she were the main star, but the judge gave her a hard dose of reality. Then we get to the best part of this fiasco, the meltdown in the courtroom. Oh, it happened. People who were there said Blake tensed up, angrily whispered to her lawyers, and was visibly shaking while the judge wrecked her case in full view. Imagine walking in confident, sure you'd win, only to end up looking like a deer caught in headlights as the judge rips your entire strategy to shreds.
This is the audio Blake and Ryan's agent seemingly didn't want you to hear.
I wonder if you could tell us about a little bit of a mess that I gather you've been involved in.
Oh yeah. I know where you're going with this one.
Do you have notes on it?
Oh yeah. Those are the two things I said to myself.
And Ryan Reynolds, missing in action. The same guy who loves silly tweets and viral moments pulled a disappearing act the second things got ugly. Sure, he can joke around online all day, but stand by his wife when she's embarrassing herself in court. Not a peep. He saw this catastrophe coming and opted to skip out.
It seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled.
And let's talk about her attorneys, because by now, even they had to know they were defending a legal dumpster fire. Standing there, watching the judge blow their entire argument to bits, they were probably rethinking every choice that landed them here. You know, they had to be asking themselves, why did we sign on for this? How did we end up in this mess?
I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
Next, in one of the most desperate moves ever, Blake and her team tried spinning this mortifying defeat into a win. Naturally, this is Hollywood, where losing can be twisted into winning and failure turns into success, and somehow Blake believes she can fool the whole planet into thinking this wasn't a total train wreck. Except it was. Because this isn't just some legal flop. It's public humiliation in the rawest form. This is Blake Lively's credibility getting torched in broad daylight. This is a courtroom disaster so huge, so nonsensical, that it's officially going on record. And just when it couldn't get bleaker, the judge greenlights a live audio stream for the next hearing. That's right. No more media spin, no more Hollywood protection, no more curated TMZ scoops. The entire world is getting front row seats to the sheer legal stupidity of Blake Lively's case. It's going to be epic. A live audio feed means everyone hears it straight, no middleman. No more sources close to Blake feeding the press baloney. Nope, it's unfiltered courtroom drama. Blake thought she could stroll in, request insane subpoenas, and rewrite the rules for her own gain. Instead, she left with the most embarrassing court loss of her life. And frankly, she had it coming. The judge just pulled the very move Blake Lively dreaded most. He okayed a live audio broadcast for the next session. That's right. Her courtroom nonsense is about to be heard worldwide as it happens. No more TMZ exclusives, no more micromanaged publicity stunts, no more sources trying to paint her as some victim. Everyone will get to hear exactly how cringeworthy this case is for themselves. The sheer panic Blake must be feeling right about now. Priceless. She came in thinking she could steer the narrative, play the innocent starlet, and control every detail that gets out. Instead, she just lost every bit of control. And here's the kicker. She knows she's finished. That's why she fought so desperately to keep this whole thing hidden. That's why she pleaded for a massive protective order, hoping to bury her lies, her insane overreach, the whole shebang. And now, it's out in the open. No more secret Hollywood handshakes to hide evidence. No more Ryan Reynolds calling in big favors to tidy up this catastrophe. No more Blake Lively pretending she's the wrong party while launching one of Hollywood's nastiest smear campaigns. Because, let's be real, she was never after justice. She wanted dominance. She aimed to use the courts to destroy Baldoni. Now that she's being exposed in real time, the meltdown will be incredible. Oh, and about being exposed, let's jump into the leaked audio that wrecked Blake and Ryan's entire "we didn't do anything" routine. This wasn't some random snippet. It was a huge Hollywood scandal. March 2025, and there's a tape of Ari Emanuel, WME's CEO, one of Tinseltown's most powerful figures, straight up admitting Baldoni got blacklisted because of Blake and Ryan. Not only did they personally engineer the downfall of his career, but Emanuel talked about it like it was no big deal. He didn't even bother using Baldoni's real name. He called him Baloney. Let that sink in. Imagine getting blacklisted by Hollywood's top agent, and on top of that, he's ridiculing you behind the scenes like some grade school bully. And Blake? She just acted clueless, pretending it had nothing to do with her. Ryan Reynolds? Probably making cute jokes online while privately helping sabotage a guy's career. But once that audio came out, they suddenly had a 5-alarm crisis. Because this is no longer rumor. This isn't hearsay. It's solid proof. Blake and Ryan weren't just innocent bystanders in Baldoni's blacklisting. They actively pushed for it. And once they got caught, they ran straight to their Hollywood PR squads to spin a new story. And here's the wild part. The podcast hosting this bombshell confession? Yeah, it mysteriously vanished. Freakonomics, where Emanuel spilled the beans, suddenly had no copy of the episode. The audio? Missing. The YouTube video? Technical issues. The biggest Hollywood cover-up of the year just vanished. Convenient, right? But here's the thing about genuine reporters. They don't follow Hollywood's script. Someone secretly recorded it anyway. Now that evidence is out, Blake's entire legal argument basically collapsed. Her victim act? Toast. The claim that Baldoni was fabricating everything? Also toast. Which brings us to Blake's next frantic move to stop her web of lies from falling apart. Because after being publicly embarrassed, revealed for blacklisting a guy, and busted trying to hide it, what does she do? Tries to spin a court ruling as some victory. Obviously. She begged the judge for an extreme protective order, one that would let her conceal whatever she wanted from the public. She didn't just want to hide delicate documents, she wanted a total data lockdown. Why? Because if this goes to trial, she's cooked. She's fully aware that once the receipts, emails, and texts come out showing how she and Ryan set this all up, her perfectly crafted Hollywood image is over. But the judge? He wasn't buying it. He flat out refused a request. Because no matter how much Blake and Ryan assume they're untouchable, they're not above the law. The judge spelled it out. No secret vault of files, no bogus privacy arguments, no smothering the truth. His declaration? Very few secrets will stay hidden if this case goes to trial. Translation? Blake, your entire operation is done. And Baldoni's lawyers? They saw right through her. His attorney blasted her pitiful attempt to claim this was a victory. Because it was never really about privacy. She wanted to dictate how the story was told. She wanted to choose which documents everyone gets to see and which ones vanish into the Hollywood abyss. Now that idea is finished. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing. Blake Lively, the same person who's been feeding the press hand-picked details, weaponizing the media, and spinning half-baked narratives, is suddenly terrified of too much info surfacing. Why is that? Let's be real. She never cared about anybody's privacy. If she did, she wouldn't have spent the last year trying to pry into every corner of Baldoni's personal life. She was all for prying into his stuff, but the second the court says, "All right, we get to see yours too," she freaks out about privacy. She wanted to be judge, jury, and executioner. Now the actual judge has shut her down, and it's too late to fix it. The ruling is crystal clear. The trial's public. The evidence is public. The court audio is public. And Blake Lively is out of moves. And just like that, Blake Lively is suddenly the most isolated person in Hollywood. Where did her high-powered friends go? Where's her girl squad that paraded around like they own the place? Where are Taylor Swift, Gigi Hadid, and the A-list besties who always circled around when life was good?
Gone. Silent.
Vanished without a trace. Hollywood can spot a sinking ship from a mile away, and right now, Blake Lively is in full Titanic mode. It's almost comical. She spent years positioning herself as Hollywood's golden girl, giving speeches on sisterhood, women supporting each other, and unity. But now, not a single one of those so-called friends is standing beside her in this mess. Taylor Swift pulled away without a sound. Not a word of encouragement from the woman who used to call Blake her ride or die. Not even a cryptic social media post.
Zero.
Gigi Hadid, radio silence. Hollywood elites, also radio silent. Even Ryan Reynolds, her own spouse, hasn't uttered a single syllable in her defense. You know it's bad when your partner won't even toss out a half-baked statement of support. And remember, Ryan's the guy who can't resist attention. He'll joke about anything. But when his wife is getting wrecked in court and in the public eye, he's missing. Because he knows better than to get dragged down with her. He'd rather stand by, acting like he doesn't see the flames, hoping they burn out before reaching him. Meanwhile, witnesses are flat out refusing to testify, petrified of Blake's Hollywood pull. Yes, seriously. TMZ reported that people who actually know what went down don't want to come forward because they understand how far Blake Lively's influence extends when threatened. That's downright insane. She's supposed to be the victim here, right? The powerless actress who got wronged? Then why is everyone too scared to speak out against her? Because this was never about fairness. It was about control. And Blake thrived on that control. Until she lost it. Now she's freaking out because her power is fading. Her Hollywood cloud is vanishing. So, in the most desperate measure possible, she and Ryan Reynolds went full supervillain and brought in the heavy artillery. Enter Nick Shapiro. Yes, you read that right. Blake Lively enlisted a former CIA operative to handle her PR meltdown, not just some random ex-Intel person. Nick Shapiro, ex-deputy chief of staff at the CIA, now serving as Blake's personal spin doctor. Let that sink in. We're talking about a Hollywood actress wrapped in a defamation lawsuit who, instead of going for a normal PR agency like everyone else, decides to dial up a former intelligence agent. And not just any agent. One who has experience covering up serious political storms. Nick Shapiro is the same individual who pushed bogus narratives in the media, was involved in the Hunter Biden laptop fiasco, and is basically an expert at gaslighting the public for the elite. So let's cut to the chase. Why does an actress need a former CIA official to coordinate her defense? Because this has gone way beyond a typical PR headache. This is turning into a government-level cover-up strategy. Blake and Ryan aren't just navigating Hollywood politics anymore. They're using intelligence agency tactics to spin the past, sway the media, and bury incriminating evidence. And the moment Shapiro jumped in, surprise, the New York Times conveniently dropped a hit piece on Justin Baldoni. What timing! Perfectly orchestrated. The same NYT known for pushing certain political stories suddenly posts a takedown of Baldoni, right when Blake needs it. This screams staged media manipulation. This isn't about justice or clearing her name. It's about leveraging brute force to destroy an opponent. Blake Lively is treating this lawsuit like an all-out war. And the funniest part? It's still failing. Because no matter how many resources, lies, or power moves she throws at this, Blake Lively is still losing. Justin Baldoni just snagged a major legal victory. And Blake's lawsuit has been exposed as an absolute farce. The judge's order didn't just smack down her crazy subpoenas, it highlighted how off the wall they truly were. Blake tried to claim she needed privacy boundaries, but the judge basically said, nope. All the evidence is going on display. The case won't be sealed. Your secrets are coming out. And Ryan Reynolds, still MIA. Not even a half-hearted, "I stand by my wife" Instagram note.
Zilch.
Even he realizes this battle is lost. The one thing Blake and Ryan can't explain away is that a Hollywood big shot is on tape, verifying they personally got Baldoni blacklisted. Game over. That's not gossip or rumor. It's proof. And that's why a million CI-level spin tactics won't save her. You can't alter reality. You can't remove evidence that's already out there. You can't dupe the public when there are receipts. Blake figured she could game the legal system, manipulate the media, and lean on her star power to come out on top. She guessed wrong. Reality punched back.
Hard.
Now, she's out of tactics. Her career is crashing in real time. Her Hollywood allies are turning their backs. Her lawsuit is a laughingstock. And her next day in court might just be the nail in the coffin. Blake Lively's downfall is playing out as we speak. And it's only going to get uglier. Subscribe for the next courtroom meltdown.